they can't pay, I guess, they shouldn't be paying George Pickens, Clarence, when they have a line full of people that they still need to pay in their own spot that they continuously pay too late to save them any sort of money to pay somebody like George Pickens, which leads...
You sound like Jerry. Is that Jerry?
No,
Jerry,
I'm just saying...
Is Jerry taking over your body?
No, but it does dovetail, though, into the I need to see things from people before I pay them. You know, George Pickens just got there, so he can't say, here's a bag, Jerry, fill it up, I just got here, unless that's part of the reason why the Steelers would send him out. This is just my I guess, long-winded way of getting around to when are they paying Micah Parsons? When are they going to actually pay this guy?
Yeah, they got to call his agent first. They haven't talked to his. Jerry doesn't know his agent's name. He doesn't know David Mulugeta's agent, one of the best agents in football.
Right.
And keep in mind, Mulugeta is also George Pickens' agent.
Right.
So I think he knows his agent now, but they haven't really moved the needle on that. One thing to note, Rich, they may or may not pay him, but the carrot for Pickens is I can get paid somewhere else in free agency. And the carrot for the Cowboys is if he has a big year and he gets paid somewhere else, they could return a third-round comp pick back. So they basically swapped the third-round pick and could get a third-round pick back for Pickens if he blows up and does a great job and signs big money elsewhere. So, yeah, most likely they got other guys that need to pay like Tyler Smith and certainly Deron Bland and Micah Parsons and all the other stuff. But remember, the Bengals just paid 2 receivers.
Yeah, I understand that, Clarence, but I'm just saying when you've got your own guys who have balled out to say, I want to stay here in Dallas. I have shown you what needs to be shown to have the privilege of having the star on the side of the helmet and play in the Jones Mahal. You can't just pay somebody who just got there. You've got to pay the other guys first, and that's why listen, we had DeMarcus Ware on a couple years ago talking about how Jerry cut his agent out of the process when he was trying to sign him, and he knew it was serious when he busted out the votive candles in his office. He goes, when Jerry calls you in his office and busts out the votive candles and lights the votive candles, you know, like he means business and he wants to sign you without you talking to your agent. So I don't know if he's busting out the votive candles with Micah Parsons. Or, Clarence, let me ask you this. Is there any credence to the fact that they think he podcasts too much? I mean, Tank Lawrence made explicit reference to that in clapping back at Micah Parsons when he went to Seattle earlier in the spring. Is there any smoke to this potential fire?
Not from Jerry Jones. And I broke the story earlier. Jerry Jones already has a handshake deal with Micah Parsons for the richest contract in richest non-quarterback contract in NFL history. They've already got a handshake deal. They haven't got the deal done because Jerry and Steven have yet to include the agent, and Micah's not signing a deal without his agent signing off on it. Yeah, right. But Jerry's already committed. You know, he said, we've had a meeting on the minds on everything regarding the contract, money, guarantee, bonus, everything. So there's no hesitancy with Jerry Jones. Now he's going to say the right things because it hasn't done, and I need to see more. But he already has verbally committed a handshake deal with Micah Parsons on the richest non-quarterback contract. So that podcast talk is more of a media thing and maybe a player thing. All it's not a Jerry thing per se. You know, he's going to say, well, I want to see more leadership. If I pay him that kind of money, he has to be a leader. This is what's also true. I'd rather have 11 Micah Parsons, 11 all-pro players. And I think Jerry would rather have 11 all-pro players to do a podcast. Micah Parsons is the only player on defense in the front 7 that's a Pro Bowl player. You want to know why you can't get over the hump? You don't have enough talent up front. They can't stop throwing. They need more difference-making players, and Jerry is not using that podcast to not pay Micah Parsons.
All right, well, that's good. Well, handshake or not, but one way for somebody to go basically like that instead of continuing to shake hands is if, let's just say, T.J. Watt signs first. You know what I mean? Like, so what's the wait? Why if there's a handshake?
They have not talked to the agent. Learn
the agent's name, get his number, and close it. Like, what are we waiting for?
I have no idea, but they got a deal in place theoretically with Jerry and Micah. They just got to include the agent, and I think it's going to happen. They want to get it done. Both sides want to get it done, but they're hard-headed. Hey, you know what? One agent that they didn't cut out the process, Dak Prescott's agent.
They have Todd France's number.
They cut them out the process.
Yeah, they got Todd's number. You know,
Yes, most definitely.
and they got the number they wanted from Jerry, you know, which nobody's come close to touching, right? Like we've gotten halfway, you know, in the 50s to 60, but nobody's hitting 58, 59. I don't think Brock Purdy's going to do that. I don't know when Jaden Daniels hits, but there's going to be other quarterbacks before him. Stroud, I don't know. I don't know who's going to hit 60. Jerry might have set that standard, and nobody's coming close to it. Clarence, you know.
Hey, kudos to Todd France, because he set this up with the first contract when he put the no tag clause in it. They set when the first contract, it was a 4-year deal. It wasn't a long deal. When he initially got 40, and he made as much as Josh Allen and more than Patrick Mahomes his first contract, but they set the table for the second contract with the no tag. And if the Cowboys didn't re-sign him, somebody was going to pay that. It was going to be Pittsburgh. Look at all the teams that needed quarterbacks. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, this offseason when he would have been a free agent, he was going to get that money somewhere. And Jerry Jones, we've been on that quarterback abyss. Remember, between Troy Aikman and Tony Romo. Jerry was not going to go on that quarterback abyss again. He's not trying to rebuild. He's not trying to go 1-15 and tank for Arch and do all this other stuff, because he wants to keep that stadium full. And they've been very competitive. When Dak has been healthy, they've been competing for playoffs. They just need more players around them.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.